Merry Christmas in July, everybody. It is Brendan, Dad Planet, the one-man show. We're doing what solds today, but in this video, I'm skipping March completely. The reason for that is every time I try to pull one of the listings up to do the research on it, I get an error message. So I can't get the data I need to do March, so we're just gonna scrap it. I had a great month, it was amazing, $11,000 in sales, very part-time. So in this video, I'm gonna feature 20 items that I sold in April. And then before we do any of that, I've picked a winner for the 2 purses. So make sure you reach out to me once you know it is you, and we'll get to 20 bolos after that. And then once those are finished, I'm gonna have a special guest help me open up gift number 2 for my subscribers as a thank you for following me along on this journey. And the format for this video, FYI, is back to the old format. I didn't do any editing. It's kind of all the way straight through. So it's a little bit more informative, might feel a little bit slower than some of my other videos, but I changed the format so that mobile viewers could see the bolos a little bit better. So let me know if you like it. Let me know if you hate it. At any rate, it is what it is. Let's get into it. No, honey, I'm not going to use it for my shipping.
Where are you?
Sweetheart, I'm trying to record this video. You give me a minute here. All right, folks. So we're gonna pick the winner of the 2 purses from the previous video here. So let's get started here. And I've got my little helper behind me, so forgive me if some of this is just raw and unedited here. So okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna include replies, but we're gonna filter duplicates. We don't need to exclude anybody or add any extra entries. And what is show random names? No, I don't need that. Okay, I think we've got everything we need right here. I've got the video in here, and then we've got to solve the problem. So let's get the amount of comments. How many did we have? 477 unique comments, and thank each and every one of you for participating here. That was amazing. And all right, let's pick a winner of the 2 purses. It is going to Steve Simmons, who says, your channel, Harry Tornado, and a few other resellers I watch. I'm a reseller myself, so I like seeing what everybody is buying and getting. I can't see you. Give me the rest of it. All right, well, anyway, we're going to forward through all of that. Steve, thank you so much for leaving the comment here. What are you doing, honey? Here, do me a favor. Will you go take that box downstairs? Take that box to Mom.
Why?
Because I don't need it in the room anymore. What I need for you to do is send me an email to dadplanetofficial@gmail.com. Send me your details, and then I will put this in the mail to you as a thank you for being a subscriber. So thanks so much. All right, so from April 1st through the 30th, 10,300 in gross sales, but the most important and the more important number always is net sales, 6,600, which is up 4.5% from last April, which is wonderful. Average sales price went up to 58, and the quantity sold went down, right? So shipping less, selling for a higher dollar amount, doing less, making more. That's kind of like how I've been rolling here, if you will. So April's numbers look pretty good here. And then my cost of goods for the entire month was $1,127.37, if you want me to be exact. So, and I feel like I should also mention, none of this little eBay business experiment, whatever you want to call it for me, is financed on debt. All of it is cash. So this is completely debt-free. I don't finance anything on a credit card. It just comes right out of the business finance account, and it cash flows. So keep that in mind. We'll get to the first one here. And I sold these so fast. So these are from the late 70s, tiger spit, embroidered. The name of this specific design is Wings of Night. I'm going to show you another one here on the next screen. These were really pretty fabulous finds. And I circled the carts, if you will, and looked at this a few times before I picked it up, and then was like, you know what? Cross stitch is a thing. Make sure you try to look it up. And I couldn't really find anything at the time. So I bought them on a whim, took them home, did the research, realized that they were rare. And I sold this one for $200 in one day. So the buyer is $237.13 all in. The fact that I sold it in one day is probably an indication that I undersold it. Could I have pushed it to $250, maybe $300? Possibly. On $7, I'm going to be excited with the $200. And then the next one here is from 76, so a year earlier. This is the one that caught my eye first. This is Fantasy Wind, and I actually had, and I don't remember who it was in my comments, so thank you for whoever it was that actually identified either this one or the other one to help me, help my research go a little bit quicker. But these were just gorgeous pieces. But again, I was sort of unsure. So, and everybody else in that store at the time was too, because they just sat there on the cart. So I finally grabbed them, and boy, am I glad I did. $200 on this one. This buyer was $232.49 all in. One went to California. They went to separate buyers, but I feel like they were a pair that could have gone together. At any rate, $7 for each of them. Each one of them sold in a day. And if you're looking for cross stitch patterns that are valuable, here's a great one from the 70s. This one is called the Sun Goddess. This one here is the Methodical Horse Goddess. So this one was, listed for 400 and took an offer. This one was 150. And here's one here that's like stacked flowers that was listed for 215. Somebody took an offer on it. Check this one out right here. Birds of a Feather. Pay attention to that design right there. Somebody bid $450 and paid $50 to have it shipped. So keep your eye out when you see those framed embroidered patterns, especially these two here. Those were really, really, really exciting sales. So let's move on. I'm trying to reduce some of these buttons here. All right. Next one, not all Keurig machines are created equal. A lot of them are kind of junk, unless you really want to like test them and flip them on Marketplace for $15, $20 really quickly, something like that. This one here, BKC 600XL, is usually always an item that you want to keep your eye out for because it does consistently sell for over $100. I think, let me scroll down. Did I put video in? Yeah, okay. So I tested this in my kitchen just to give the buyer, an indication that it was working properly. And I think sometimes when I do that, when I add video to show an item working, that helps me command a higher selling price. So I sold this for, and I took an offer of $105 on this one. The buyer was $136.40 all in. I think it cost maybe $15. I don't remember because we're going so far back. It only took 3 weeks to sell, so it was a fast seller. And here is some more evidence that these definitely sell for a high dollar amount. This one here for $116. This one here for $100. So I mean, $80, $100. If you find this specific model and you're willing to test it out and make sure that it works. I always keep like some K-cups on hand, even though we don't use a Keurig machine in the house, just in the event I have something like this that I need to test. So keep your eye out for that one. That was a great sale. Next item here, I only paid $5.50 for these. This was a great find. Vapormax, it's funny because I wore a pair of Vapormax for a small amount of time and I hate the way they felt on my feet. You could feel the bubbles like on each square inch of the bottoms of my foot. I felt imbalanced when I wore them. So I am not a fan at all of wearing Vapormax. However, that's not the case for everybody. So I found this pair here. Gunsmoke was the color, and they were a women's size 7.5. Again, they only cost me $5.50. Here's some more pictures for you on what they looked like. They were in pretty decent shape here, cleaned up just a little bit. There's a size 7.5 tag for you. And I sold these on an offer for $110. So this buyer is $131.55 all in. These were pretty quick sellers at the high end. They're just not easy to find, this specific style. I'll show you on the next screen. These sold in 2 months, but only 40 sold, and I think there's only 43 active as of the time this video was recorded for this style right here, AJ6599. But as you can see, pre-owned, 120, 110, here's 150. Look, a brand new pair of black and white ones. They call them moon particles here, sold for 300. This is a pair that sold for 240. This is a very expensive style, if you will. So just got lucky. Saw them this did not come out on a cart. This was on the just the regular wherever the shoes are in this particular location. So really got lucky there, and that was a great sale. Next thing here, these are really easy to sell, assuming of course that they work properly. AudioTechnica, the model on this one is AT-LP 60. You'll see LP60, XT. There's like certain variations, different color schemes, but AT-LP60 is like really kind of what you're looking for here. I sourced this on campus at the Ohio State University. I can't remember what I paid for it though. I put $10 down. Those of you that remember or have been following me for a little while now, you may remember what the price was when I bought it in store. But I sold it for my full asking price of $100. This buyer is 125.75 all in. It only took 8 days to sell, so it was a pretty quick seller. And here's some more of them here. This one sold free shipping for 95, although it doesn't really give you the actual number, but you can see right here, LP60, and then this one is XBT. This could be an indication of the color. I'm not exactly sure, but they are all pretty similar in the sold prices. So here's another one, LP60, that sold for 56 with free shipping. So I'm pretty satisfied that I got the price that I got, $100. I will take that, and there's plenty of them that sell like in the $70 to $120 range. So that was another good sale. Next one here. This one was a little bit different, and I took a little bit of a risk because this is one of those behind the counter specials at one of the stores that I go to, and they had two of these bags, and they were either $15 or $20. I don't remember exactly, but I bought two of them, and here's one of the ones that sold, and they sold really fast. So Henry Tompkins British leather. I feel like this is like an overseas brand, not exclusively, but they're harder to find, and maybe the demand is a little bit less here domestically in the US, and maybe they're more popular overseas. But I bought two of these bags, and both of them sold really quickly. This one sold for $102, so the buyer is $122.21 all in. Again, maybe $15 to $20 for me, but it sold in one day. And the other one that I sold in just a couple of days. And I think that went to the same buyer. So they waited, received this one, liked the condition, and then ended up buying the other one. So just again, not a lot of solds to go on. Here are the two bags that I sourced and sold. Again, both to the same buyer, but that's it as far as comparables go. So if you were newer and you weren't really like, willing to take some of those risks, and you wanted to be a little bit more careful with your money, I'd say maybe pump the brakes on something like this. But with me, it was worth the risk. I've done this a few times before where I'm fairly confident that some things are probably going to sell at some point for a really good price. These sell brand new for a very high dollar amount. So for me, it was a little bit easier of a decision to make. If you're newer, this is probably one I would avoid, but great sale. I'll take it. Next thing here, you're not going to see a lot of solds on these big body pillows, but this was Ralph Lauren, and I got it at a garage sale for like $1 or $2. So for me, it was sort of a no-brainer risk again to pull the trigger on this one. And I had it listed for 75. I took an offer of 56. So the buyer was 74.35 all in. This took, I'm going to say, a couple of years. The reason it took 2 years to sell is because I had an error in the shipping. You can see where it says standard shipping right here. For the longest time, I had priority checked incorrectly. And so the shipping price was cost prohibitive for most people. And usually sometimes people will reach out and say, hey, are you sure the shipping is correct? It seems like it's really, really expensive. But that never really happened on this body pillow. I just got lucky and stumbled upon it. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, that's probably why it took so long to sell. So a couple of years, but once it was fixed and relisted, it only took a couple of months to sell. So I don't think the 2-year distance, if you will, is accurate. It's probably going to sell a little bit quicker if you don't screw the shipping up like I did. So again, you're not going to see a ton. Like there's a couple here in the last 90 days. I think if you go into Terapeak, you might see a few more sales of these body pillows, but Ralph Lauren, and $1, I mean, to me, that was worth the risk. So move on to the next one here. This is nothing more than like me scanning a barcode and reading what the data spits back to me. These brand new are great sellers. So Panasonic phone system, 4 phones in total, has caller ID on it. I had this listed for 80 and I took an offer of 76. Such a weird offer to send, $4 off. But the buyer is 93.39, 94.39 all in. I think it was $8.99 that I paid for this, so $9, pretty good price for me. And it sold in 11 days. So very fast seller and lots of consistent sales here. So I have 20 results in the last 90 days, and these are all brand new. So again, a really consistent seller. If you find this exact item in the wild at garage sales, at thrift stores, grab it, because it looks like it's a pretty consistent seller of anything over $60. Some of these here look like they're a little bit too low, and I don't know what the reason is for that. Maybe they felt like they couldn't charge as much because they didn't have the box, but 76 for me, I'll take that. And I always look for thermostats. I always look up thermostats when I'm in thrift stores because they're super boring, and most stores don't think to mark them up. They're too busy looking for, like video games to mark up, if those ever make it to the floor, or, the Patagonias of the world. So I like kind of honing in on these because money is money. They're easy sellers, and a lot of them are in demand, hard to find, discontinued. I don't know if this one is discontinued or not, and they may or may not still be producing it, but the same buyer bought both of these. So I think they were $9 to $10 a piece for me. They might have been a little bit less than that, but I sold both to the same buyer, both for $50, so 100 for both of those. And they sold in 2 months. So fast seller for me, style here, RTH 6580WF, another consistent seller here. You can see 200 results, and I think I have them all sorted in brand new. So I think the fact that I got 50 for each one of these is pretty good. Here's one that was 50 with free shipping. This one sold for 45. Where I can, I like to be at the top of the mountain price-wise, and $50, especially considering I charge shipping, is a great price for both of those. So those are out the door, and we'll move on to the next one. These were amazing. So found these at a Goodwill, and I don't think, if I remember correctly, this was in one of my sourcing videos, that the price was marked up on these. Like I could have paid $10, but I almost think that these were regular price. And I think boots are maybe like $5 or $6 in the circle of stores that I go to if they're not marked up. So let's call these $6. I had them listed for $100. They sold pretty quick. They were a size 9M. Rose Garden is the style of Western boot here for these Macy Bean boots. And the buyer is $111.60 all in. So at $10 at the most, still a great deal, but I'm pretty sure I paid $6 for them, and it only took 1 week to sell them. Great looking boot, fast sale. I mean, and a huge return. That's kind of like the name of the game for me. So if you happen to see this specific style, they sell brand new in the $200 range. Here's a pair that sold for even more. They were a size 10 that sold for $110. Size 7 that sold for $80, somebody that took an offer here. So again, I'm pretty much at the top of the market with my $100 price tag, all things considered. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. All right, next one here. I don't know, I'm not really sure why these took so long to sell, because let me see, these took over 2 years to sell. Maybe it was because they were a 5.5, and I have them marked a men's 5.5. There was no tag to confirm if it was men's or women's that I could find. So the 5.5 that I'm going on was the bottom of the shoe. I'll show you here. So you can fold these down, wear them. You know, they have a versatile style to them. Orange with the yellow interior, vintage insole right there, and then 5.5 on the bottoms. Like I think they were men's. Maybe they weren't. At any rate, I finally eventually sold them. I had them listed for $100. And I took an offer of 85, I believe. Yes. So this buyer is $110.18 all in. I don't remember what I paid for them. Let's say $15 at the absolute most. But they could have been $5. And again, took 2 years to sell. So I don't know. These are really kind of hard to come by, these knee-high styles. In fact, just in the last 90 days, I only see a couple of solds here. There's an 8.5. That actually, I don't know why they ran an auction on that. At a size 8.5, I would have just done the pictures like I did and asked 100, because I think they probably would have sold quicker than my 5.5s. But again, something that just doesn't turn up that often. Took a while to sell, but everything sells eventually. So next thing here, this is a definite bolo, an item that you want to keep your eye out for. These Spirit jerseys from Disney parks, but more importantly, this is It's a Small World Goodbye jersey shirt. This one here is really popular. I was pleasantly surprised doing the research. So I think this was on one of the markup racks at a thrift store. So I feel like I paid $10 for it, somewhere along the lines there. I had it listed for $100. I took an offer of 85. So the buyer is $95.39 all in after shipping and after taxes. It only took 3 weeks to sell, but if you take a look at just in the last 90 days, 5 of them have sold. There's one that did sell for 100. Look at this one, an adult large that sold for $150. I feel like if I had it again, I would price it at 100, but I would shut offers off, or at least try to remember not to send out like a 10 or 15% offer, which is what I like to do. In the summer months, I'm very, very aggressive. I've been very aggressive, I think, consistently all year sending offers, but this isn't one that I think needs an offer sent, if you will, because I think it would still sell for $100 again, just based on what I'm looking at here. So great, great sale. And Yeah, just keep your eye out, keep your eye out for it if you see it. This is not the only Spirit jersey that will sell for a great dollar amount. There are plenty other that will, but that one specifically, like you almost know you're going to get $100 for it. So next thing here, Merrell Trail Glove 4s. I love the barefoot Merrell style shoes. Style number on this one is J09664. I'll take you through some of the pictures. These were brand new without the box, and I paid regular price for them, which is like $5. So you can take a look at the bottoms. They are in mint condition, and I had them listed for $100. They eventually sold for that exact price. So $122.59 is what the buyer is all in after shipping and after taxes. And they took 6 months to sell. So I think if you're going to end up finding these or a similar style, you're more likely to find them pre-owned. But if you look at the pre-owned prices, they're still pretty good with the exception of a few. This is probably like the $40 price range, and charging shipping is where I would land if I found them pre-owned. So I had mine in new condition without the tag, so I was able to get 100. And again, it took a while, but I think $40 is the most appropriate price. And I'm guessing if you were to find them pre-owned in a decent size or a pretty regular size. So keep that in mind. Next thing here, DeMarini Bat, Vexum half and half. The model here is DX-1. I'll take you through some of the pictures of what this bat looks like. I had it listed for $139, and I took an offer, I think, of around $100. To somebody who doesn't know any better, this bat might not look like it has any value, but as long as there's like no dents or cracks in the barrel, you're really good to go. I mean, I think it's expected that you will see some marks from pre-owned use with hitting baseballs and paint smearing. So don't pass bats up that look like this. You would really, I think, be doing yourself a disservice. And DeMarini isn't the only brand of bat that is worth looking up. There's plenty of other Rawlings bats, Easton bats. There's plenty of other styles too. But the important point that I want to make is just because you have a little paint chipping away doesn't mean the bat doesn't have value. So keep that in mind. Here's the rest of the pictures. That is, oh, okay, that came into focus there. Half and half. And even if the grip has a little wear to it, don't let that deter you. Just keep doing your research and keep looking pretty hard at your at the sold comparables. So this one sold for $100. Buyer is $121.12 all in. This was $499 for me, and it took 9 months to sell. So it's still a really good, again, depending on the size, the price looks like it varies a little bit. I don't know what happened here or if this is even like a regular comparable, but here's one that was around 100, asking price of 150. This one was an auction, which is why it sold so low. Here's one that was being sold brand new. They had it listed for $250. One that sold for $150. So it's a good bat. This one specifically, keep your eye out for it. Okay. Next thing here, I don't know anything about fishing. And I feel like at the time I was doing the research, because this one took a little bit of time to sell, there were similar solds for Cabela's Prestige, like it might not have been like 9064s. They might have been slightly different, but I think I had the only one at the time. So I listed this, and it had the reel with it. It had a nice soft case that came with it. It was in excellent condition just based on like my simple eye test. And I had it listed for $150. It eventually sold for that full asking price, and the buyer is $180.65 all in. So it was marked $899. So for me, it was a pretty easy risk to take at $9. It took 10 months to sell, but it definitely did sell. There are none currently listed that are this exact Prestige 9064 on eBay. But there are either two or three solds right here in the last 90 days. So here's one that sold for $60 on an auction that was brand new. And then this one here also being listed as brand new, sold for $145. So pretty similar solds here with these two. And this one, I think they just made a mistake by starting their auction too low. So if you happen to see this one, grab it. I can't tell you much about fishing and rods and lures, but another one of those things where I was confident taking a risk, and I was happy that I did. So next thing here, Nike Kobe Bryant undefeated collaboration shirt with like the big head caricature on the front. There was a sold back in Terapeak for around $100 for this exact shirt in a size large. So when I was doing the research, when I sourced this in store, because this was in one of my videos, I was really happy to stumble upon this. So I listed it for $100, and then I took an offer of $75 on it. So the buyer is $87.02 all in. T-shirts in the store that I sourced this in are either $4 or $5, and this only took 5 weeks to sell. So this was a really good seller. I don't think you're going to see an exact one here in the last 90 days. So here's my sold right here. Here's another caricature style shirt that has what it looks like Kobe on it. But this specific shirt that I sourced, if you go back into Terapeak a year, is a bona fide bolo. You definitely want to keep your eye out for this one specifically. Always look Kobe stuff up. I mean, he's still so beloved and missed by not just the basketball community, but fans worldwide. So always check Kobe stuff out. Here is another like indication that you've got something that's Kobe Bryant related. If you weren't aware, this is his like Nike logo. So that should like set a little bit of a flag off or the light bulb off and say, hey, this is a Kobe Bryant item. Let me look it up, because Kobe stuff still sells. I just sold a pair of Kobe's for $100 recently. So keep your eye out for Nike Kobe Bryant related items. Next thing here, this is another one of those things that are like super boring. Like stores don't care about items like this. They're too busy doing and looking up other stuff that they think has value. But this was definitely one where I'm going to take you into Terapeak and show you. You won't really see any like really good solds, I think, in the last 90 days outside of the ones that I have here. Path lights, nothing special. Looked up the model number, looked up the UPC, went to Terapeak, did my research. Only paid $5 for each of these, and I sold all 5 of them for $30, I think within a week or two. So fast seller for me, super boring, and definitely sales in like the last at least year to 2 years here. So once I saw this, and especially this one that sold for $35 with free shipping, I knew I could move mine for a little bit of a higher price. So I settled in at $30, charged shipping. They all sold really quickly, under a month. And again, cheap, $5. Stores don't care about this stuff. This is what's going to keep most resellers in business for a long time. In fact, if you're in an area where it's a little bit slower, the stores are smaller, they maybe have more time to kind of go through all of their donations, I feel like these are the items that if you focused on them a little bit more, you would have a little bit more success. Let them mark all that other stuff up. Focus on these items if they are in fact hitting the floor at a decent price. I'm assuming that they are. I could be wrong, but this is the type of items that I really love, because this is what convinces me that we're going to have a job forever, if you want to call it a job. Next thing here, Libby Celestial Cobalt Blue highball glasses. These were beautiful. I found 12 of them in a box, and this I think made one of my videos as well. So I had 2 sets of 6. I sold the first set for $120 very quickly, and then this set took a couple of months to sell for $115. So this style here, especially the mugs, if you find the mugs with this pattern, the sun, the moon, the stars, the mugs are flying off the shelves. It's a great bolo, still holding strong here. And I made a ton of money off of these. They were $2 each, so I paid $24 for the lot of 12 of them. And again, sold the first lot quickly. Second one sold in a couple of months. I mean, this is a great find. Super, super lucky. But it's very clear that this is something that you want to keep your eye out for. If you look at some of these solds here, I mean, just look at the prices that they are commanding. It's pretty stellar here. This is one that I haven't seen before. This one looks a little bit different, but it's pretty clear that that's a bolo. So keep your eye out for it. And we'll move on to the next one here. I've never heard of this before. Got bag, roll top backpack, 31 liters. I'm not sure what's going on here, but again, ran comps look good. This was going to be a regular price thing for me because it came out on a cart at a Goodwill. And I think that's $6, $5.99 is what they cost if they're regular price in this location, and listed it for $70 and took an offer of $60. So the buyer's $82.10 all in, and this one only took 2 weeks to sell. So there's not a ton of them on the market, right? But when they do sell, it looks like they sell for a pretty decent amount here. This one came from Germany. Somebody had to have it. Looks like it was a collab between Pari. I don't know what that is, but here's one that was listed at 80. Mine sold for 60. This one sold brand new for 100. Got bag, could be a bolo. Doesn't look like there's a ton. Again, let's just come off of this real quick and see how many are listed, if there are anyway. So only 6 listed. I mean, and these are probably all eventually going to sell. Looks like somebody got a bunch of them brand new. And then here's one for 55, which looks like a pretty good deal. So keep your eye out for it. And the last item here on eBay, you have to sell perfume and cologne brand new, I believe, with the original box. This was a discontinued style. This is a huge bolo. It's an easy seller. I'm at the top of the market at 120. Vintage Chaps Ralph Lauren cologne. Let me show you what the bottle looks like here. Some of these that you'll see in the comps coming up here still sell pretty good even without the box. I don't think you can do that anymore. Maybe they're being loose or lax on their rules again. I don't know, but this was brand new with the box. So for me, it was an easy decision to make, but you can see here, like some are selling it and it's giving you the option to sell new without box if they're using the correct category. So I feel like there's always this sort of gray area when it comes to selling perfume and cologne. I'm going to try my best to only sell it if it's 100% full and it is coming with the original box. That way, hopefully I avoid any kind of like unnecessary heat from eBay, but this is a very consistent seller. How many were there? 38 in the last 90 days. And again, I'm at the top of the market for mine, which is where I like to be with most of the things that I sell. So we got 20 in the books. Some fun stuff over there, right?
Look cool at that. Oh, ice.
Well, he's pretty cool. Okay, kiddo. I need your help. Actually, I want to tell you this. What? We have more to wrap, so we've got like 5 or 6 more to wrap and put under, but don't tell the people that are watching, okay? Because it's a super surprise.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I want you to pick the next one. Any one. Okay. It doesn't matter. You pick any.
I mean, make it a surprise, so
you can make it a surprise.
Don't let the people.
Okay, they're not gonna know. Okay. Which one we have here?
Okay. Just don't send the video in of it.
It's gonna be that one, huh? Wow. Okay.
But don't let the people know.
All right. Hold on. I'm taking that note off the back. Okay. Now go ahead and start looking at this.
No, I don't need help.
You don't want me to help you? All right. You're on your own. Have at it.
Oh, it has another piece of paper. That's nice.
Got it? Thanks, kid.
I'll need that. Hey!
Now, here, do this. Can you pull this tape off and then take the item out? Pull that tape off. There you go.
Ooh.
What's in here? Oh. Okay. So, I sourced these. I don't remember if these were in a video or not. I think they were in a video. So this pair of Nikes right here, I don't even remember the style. Anyway, they are I think these are a men's 9. These, if you were reselling these, you're gonna get, I think, $80 to $90 for them. I swear they were in a video, but I'm losing my mind lately, so who knows? But they are in excellent shape. This was such a fun item to put in. Some of the items that I source in some of my videos might end up under this tree, but some of them are going to be absolute surprises. But these ones here, I am excited to get this off to one of you folks as a thank you for being a subscriber. What, babe? What are you looking at? I have to. This video is going to be an hour long if we don't finish. Are we done? Can we be done?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best. Thanks. One of the things I forgot to mention was the amount of time that I spent working in April. So my average work week was 26 hours. It's been ticking up slightly recently because I'm increasing the amount of hours I'm spending in stores. So not by much, but so my average work week for the month of April was 26 hours. At any rate, Steve, congratulations. Send me your details. The question I have for you folks for this video for the shoes is, what's the one item on your bucket list that you have not sourced yet? I feel like I have an extensive list of items that I have yet to source in store. There's a couple of things that I'm really looking forward to finding eventually. One of them is Glassy Baby. Those are very hard to find, but I really want to source a Scotty Cameron putter in a thrift store. So that's like at the top of my bucket list of items that I have yet to find that I'm really hoping to find. What is your bucket list item? You don't even have to name just one, but like what's that one thing that you haven't found yet that you're really looking forward to sourcing in stores? That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brendan here at Dad Planet, the One Man Show. We are celebrating Christmas in July, and I will see you in the next video.